remember the dinner with Montana at his house and what his 3-year-old says?
Is this the guy we hate? And like, no, there's somebody else. There was, I will say this about Joe. Joe's a good dude, and he is. The reason why Bill put us together, Coach Walsh, because he knew we both weren't toxic personalities. We got along. We played golf. We laughed. We did a lot of things together, but it was always awkward.
Yeah.
And I think it'll always be awkward because we both wanted to be super successful. And there's only one job, and yet we never argued. I never had a cross word with him. We never had it out because there's nothing to have out. It's just awkward.
Joe had the best 2 years of his career, back-to-back MVPs, and at that point, you've been in the league and his backup for how long?
2 years. That was both those years.
At one point, both your dad, which says a lot, and your agent Lee say, time to move on. What was it that made you go against your most trusted advisors and stick it out?
It was a tight one. I've always had what I believed was kind of a conversation with heaven going on in my life. And that conversation felt bilateral, and I think
Meaning what?
Meaning that I felt like I'd get answers from, like I would, in the conversation that I would have ongoing in my life, I would get kind of, I'd feel like a sense of, direction or peace or something. And I just, for whatever reason, I wanted out. I was the one that had Lee Steinberg go figure out how to get me out of here. Like I gotta get out of here. I can't take it. It's crazy. I don't want to just watch. It's just nuts. My career just going by and I'm just standing here. And then when it got really right down to it, we had to make the decision. I believe it was the Raiders.
Al Davis had guaranteed you'd be the starter from day one.
And it was the spring of 1991, and something about I just felt like, no, I've invested here. There's something about I want to stay, and that's when it turned for me too. So I don't know what to tell you, Graham. I want people to appreciate that there's a ongoing conversation, and it can be kind of important ways to live your life that I found, and that was one of them right there.
You ever wonder how life would have been different had you?
Oh yeah, if life would have been different if I played in Tampa the whole life, or if I would have not gone to the USFL and been drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals with the first draft pick, or been to the Raiders in 1990, or But I got to tell you, my life is so uniquely guided in many ways by my experiences through working through and being around Bill Walsh and his abundant spirit, and Joe and his excellence and like amazement, and then my opportunity that sharpened my saw so that I could, look, the 49ers and the West Coast offense had a tactical advantage until Mike Holmgren left in 1992 to the Packers, and then he took it. Then they came back and attacked us. But it was a place for quarterbacks. It was a place. I'd been in Tampa. I'd seen the other side, and so there's a part of me that's like, look, this place is a place for quarterbacks, and it was really true. And so unfortunately, I had to wait 4 years to do it, but I'm grateful I hated those 4 years and loved them at the same time.